Let's go. What's going on, Hannah? Welcome to the Content Creators University. How are you today?
I am so blessed. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I just want to say congratulations on you becoming an author. I am so excited to read your book and I can't wait to read it. So, thank you for the opportunity to be on your terrific, superb platform.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So honored. I know you and I, we've been, in our network, each other's lives virtually for over a year now. Over a year, going on two. And, I fell in love with your branding. I fell in love with your work, fell in love with your vision and mission in the things that you're doing. And we felt it was the best time to bring you on here. You are in UK. I was telling the folks that we don't usually go live at this time is because you're far away, right? What time is it where you are right now?
So, right now it's about 8:20 p.m. in the
Oh,
UK.
snap. So in some parts of the world, that is the time where we go live. So there you go, family. That's why we're live at this time. Now, I know we're talking about, the power of storytelling today. And this is something that you help coach other people do effectively. But before we dive into the nitty and gritty, I know some folks do not know you. So I want to go ahead and ask you to please take a minute, introduce yourself to the folks that are just joining us so they can learn more about what makes you so amazing. Take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say that it's such a delight to be able to be on this show today. I am so excited. So thank you so much, JP. And so I am a seasoned business coach and a podcast host, and also a speaker. I am also an accomplished executive producer, and I'm the proud host of the award winning Birth Your Vision podcast. And I have a wealth of experience, and my passion lies in helping you to craft captivating intros, outros, refine your storytelling abilities, and also to help you to navigate the journey of launching a successful business. And so my dedication is actually to storytelling and also my expertise in podcasting, particularly helping you to focus on, basically helping you to amplify your voice, your brand, as well as your business offers, which is definitely something that I love to do. And I actually work with coaches, service based businesses, authors, course creators, as well as female entrepreneurs as well. So, my mission is about guiding you to be able to help you to start your podcasting journey. And so, together, we're able to create a powerful, unique message to the world and also leaving a very much lasting impact. So, that's what I do in a nutshell.
Love it. Love it. See, I told y'all she would do a better job than me. Introducing herself. I tried. But that was just
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate
you're
that. So, we have some fun questions for you before we dive into the topic of the day. And the first one that I have for you, we ask all our, professors, because you are a professor today, is if you were a superhero, Hannah, who will that
welcome.
be and why?
Ooh, you know what, JP? I absolutely love this question because when I was thinking about it, I was like, who would I really be and what would I want to do and what impact do I want to make? So the first thing I thought about was being a peace champion. So my superhero name is Peace Champion. And it's really such an amazing superhero because my mission is to actually create a world where there is peace, there is safety, and there is unity, which is very important to me. And as a peace champion superhero, my aim is to actually travel to places where there is conflict zones, there is disasters, and there is troubled communities, and using my superpower to actually heal emotional wounds and also to bring people together, as well as to advocate for diplomacy, to advocate for cooperation and empathy, which I feel would actually have a lasting peace impact in the world. And I see myself as somebody who is dressed up in terms of the figure, or dressed up nicely in a very much calming and serenity outfit with different colors, soothing colors like blues and greens and purple. And I see myself wearing a tiara, right? Because it's all about saving the world and bringing peace. So my superhero is a peace champion.
Wow. Yo, this is crazy. This is okay, Hannah. Come on. This is just the first question. You blew it. You knocked it out of the park. This is amazing. And to be honest with you, we're at
Yeah.
season 5. We've been doing this show for years now. Nobody has ever chosen anything like what you just chosen as your superhero. Most will select an actual superhero in, movies that we see, Marvel production or Hollywood and all that, right? But you went for the peace on the world. And I can tell you, that's a big challenge. And the fact that you even have the heart, right, to go and help people, to go and provide your support, right, is really to commend, because that makes sense in the things that you do, because that translates directly in how you have that same heart, right, to truly look better, coach them into them having the best versions of themselves. And in order to do that, you got to be able to agree that, oh, I don't mind being behind the scenes. I don't mind, right? Let me be back and put you under the spotlight for a minute so the world can see what makes you so amazing. And that leads me to the next question, because now that you're doing all that today, I know, back then when you were like 25 years old, things didn't look the same, or maybe you had questions and you weren't sure if you were going to achieve certain things. Tell me, if you were to meet your 25-year-old self today, what would you tell her? One thing that you could tell her, one advice, what would that be and why?
Well, JP, this question I had to actually reflect back and think about my 25-year-old self. And what I thought about was the advice I would give is to embrace change and to be resilient. Because at 25, the truth is, many people are still exploring their pathway, they're still exploring their careers, and
Hmm.
also their paths are often deterred by setbacks and failures. And I would actually encourage my younger self, my 25-year-old self, to understand that life is filled of ups and downs, lots of challenges, good success stories as well, and great experiences. And it's not about the absence of the challenges, but how you actually respond to that matter that really matters the most. And so for me, resilience is so crucial. It's a crucial quality that really allows you to bounce back from adversities, to learn from your own experiences, and to also continue growing. And it's really not about giving up. Absolutely not. It's about facing the obstacles, or even ensuring that you are making the right choices in your life. And so the ability to adapt to change during uncertain time is a valuable skill. And so, in today's world, we see so many people who are in technology, who are
Hmm.
in different types of businesses, and they are evolving quickly. That means that they're able to adapt and to also be resilient, which is actually an essential skill. So, my advice to my 25-year-old self is to embrace change and approach every challenge with resilience, knowing and believing that it is about stepping out of my comfort zone and stepping into another fantastic mindset dimension to help me to become a very much, powerful person, and also to be the very best version of myself, which is very important to me.
Wow. See, I love that you talked about that, Hannah, because yesterday
Yeah.
we had our guest, right? And he is he's a professional storyteller. He's a cinematographer and director. And we talked
Yeah.
yesterday, about persistence, right? And
Mm,
so today you're talking about resilience, right?
resilience.
And
Yeah.
I hope you guys that are listening or watching this at different episodes, you're noticing the trend here, because this is so important in a microwave society today, where we start something and then in the first 6 months to a year we don't get what we sought after to do, what we sought out to do. To we didn't get that result, and we see ourselves really quickly turning our back on a purpose, something serious that God has given us. So I love that, all our experts are really pounding on that aspect of staying focused, believing in what God has given you, regardless of what you see. Keep pushing and knowing that there is something better at the end. Because, like this say, right, Rome was not built in a day. So, Hannah, thank you so much. Now, let's go ahead and dive into, the nitty and gritty about today's conversation, the power of authentic storytelling. And so, the first question that I actually want to ask you is for you as a professional, right? What does authentic storytelling actually mean?
Okay, thank you so much for that. So, authentic storytelling is basically sharing reality, real life experiences, stories that resonate with your audience, stories that are relatable, stories that are authentic, real, unique stories that would elevate, change, transform, inspire, or even motivate the circle of people around you, or even your audience if you are a business owner. So that is what authentic, storytelling is all about.
Fantastic. Love that you said that. So now that we've laid down that foundation, right now, let's go into the official first question is, all right, now that we understand what authentic storytelling is, now tell me for podcasters, right, for content creators, why is it that being authentic, right, is so effective in trying to sell their offers, services, or products through, their mediums?
I think it's so important because if you are a podcaster, you've got to master the art of storytelling because authentic storytelling is very effective, and it's about establishing a very deep emotional connection with your audience, and so they are waiting to hear from you, to listen to what you have to share. So when you share genuine stories and
Mhm.
you share experiences, you are able to actually invite listeners into your world, right, and really carry them along, and you're able to actually create trust and relativity, which people will be able to trust you and to believe in you, and also build a very good connection with you because they understand your story and they can also relate to it. So for me, it's so important and it's really key.
I love that, right?
Yeah,
You got to be, people got to be able to relate. And see, that's the
yes.
thing that we always talk about because, yeah, you can come, on the platform and you can start talking about, hey, here's my product, right? Here's my price, a great product. And you say all amazing things about your product or service that you want to give them. But we always talk about, as a branding expert, this is something I do, with clients. I always talk to them about, listen, you got to be able to spark an emotion, right? Because people react to story. And if you can master the art of properly, right,
Yeah.
sparking that emotion in somebody's heart, then they're gonna react to it and they're gonna jump on your product because now they imagine their life and they realize that they needed your product or service in their life. They couldn't understand why they would not purchase it because it's just a natural transition. It's just a natural progression to them getting better or to them getting to where they're trying to go to or that stepping stone using your offer. So that's why I love what you said so much because people got to relate with you. And so, yeah, authentic storytelling is understanding that, you are not called to everyone in life, right? You can't service or serve everyone, but the folks that are part of your flock will resonate with your story, and your story will set up your unique identifiers so that, of course, the world will be able to follow you and realize that, yes, you are the right person for the job. So now,
Yeah.
how does authentic storytelling influence an audience perception? Because I just talked about, oh, them resonated with you, but how does it,
Yeah.
truly influence them, right? When you're sharing your authentic story, in order for them, to embrace your brand and become self-proclaimed ambassadors without you even asking them.
Yeah, thank you so much, JP. I think you've actually covered some part of this question. So I just want to add that authentic storytelling actually humanizes your brand and your offering, which is something that you mentioned, and I totally agree with you. And what it does is it helps you to actually communicate your values and also the mission and the real world impact of what you provide. Because remember, your brand is definitely unique. And when you're able to actually communicate what your brand offers to your target audience, it's a lot more easier for them to be able to build, trust within your brand and also what you are offering them. And this actually shows transparency and helps you to build credibility. And also, significantly, it can also help you to influence how your specific audience perceives your brand. So always remember that authentic storytelling humanizes your brand and your offering because people can relate to you. So that is very important.
All right, Hannah, one thing that we do here is we're very, very down to earth. We're very tangible, specific. My community, they will tell you, yeah, okay, JP, I don't want to hear a whole bunch of big words. Be specific with me. So let's be specific here. I know my people, right? So somebody might tell you, Hannah, yeah, of course, Hannah, I've been telling my story. I've been telling my story. I've been trying to sell. But what exactly about your story makes it truly authentic? Is it sharing private information publicly? Is that what makes it authentic? What exactly brings out the authenticity of a story? Because we want to understand, because a lot of people always talk about you have to be vulnerable. So are you telling me, Hannah, that I got to be crying on camera? Is that what's going to touch my people? What exactly makes it authentic? Take it away. Let us know.
Yeah, so basically, it's about emotional stories. Sometimes stories trigger emotions, right? It triggers emotions. So when listeners connect emotionally with your content, they are more likely to take action because emotional stories is very powerful and it drives conversation. It's not about it's not about you crying or shedding a tear, but it's about you understanding what you've experienced and how you're able to actually bring that into an offer that would help and support your target audience. So, for example, if you've experienced some form of mental health challenges, you can actually create a that could help your target audience to actually journal, their life experiences, to journal their journey of overcoming their mental health. And so you can actually share the story about how you fell into mental health problems and how you were able to overcome it, and creating a digital product has actually helped you to actually help other people. So people can actually resonate with that because not only are you somebody who have experienced such, issues, but you're now actually turning your life around by creating a tool for people to be able to actually journal their life story through the journal that you've created. And that itself triggers an emotion, right? And it's very powerful because it creates an opportunity for them to have a conversation with you and actually call you to come and speak at an event, and also to showcase some of the products that you've created along the way. I hope that really makes sense to the audience.
It does. It does. And in other words, I appreciate that, explanation in depth, a clarification of it, because in other words, right, we all have stories. We all have a
Yeah.
testimony. We all gone through adversity of some kind in life. We all have challenges, but it's not every single challenge that will make sense to the offer, right? So, for example, I'll be to add to what Hannah said. Let's say, for example, you have a book, right? I have my book here. Which part of my story will make sense to support the reason for presenting you the book for you to purchase? Because if I were to share with you how I met my wonderful wife and we have three amazing children, How does that support my book that talks about building your business with live stream? See, it doesn't make any sense, right? So, in other words, what Hannah is saying is there's a part of your story that you can use to attach it to support whatever service or product. And that will create that emotion in the person that's listening to your story and realizing, oh, snap, that is a reason for me to purchase. So you're giving them a reason without them even thinking about it. So love it, Hannah.
I just wanted to add something there.
Mhm.
So, in terms of your book, so let's create something out of that book. So, your story could be that you probably lacked confidence when it comes to live streaming, and you're somebody who is very reserved, and perhaps you're an introvert.
Mhm.
Now, we can actually take introverts, right? And we can also take somebody who is reserved. We have business owners who are introverts, who are very reserved, and they do not want to show up live to do an interview, to be on a podcast, or to even do any virtual stages, right? So that could be a challenge for you. But your story will be how you overcame that.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? And that's what people are looking for, because those are some people's pain points. You understand? How did you overcome, you know, the challenges of being an introvert, and also being, I mean, an extrovert, and also now being able to overcome that and then have the confidence to write a book. Does that make sense? To be a host of a fantastic show. How are you able to actually, how have you been able to gain that confidence? So if you can actually help people to understand how they can also gain the confidence that you have to be able to write a book, to be able to host a live show, then that will make up your story. And that is just one part of your story. And that's how you create an offer out of it. And that's how you create so many things out of it as well. Does that make sense?
Totally, totally. It's all about
Yeah,
solving the problem, family. You're solving the
absolutely. Yeah.
problem. So
Solve the
identify the
problem.
problem and identify the solution that you bring and clearly articulate your solution in support of your product or service. And that is the story you should be telling. Fantastic. Hannah, thank you so much. And now that we understand that, we still should know or have the right balance when we're sharing our story. So,
Yeah.
how can podcasters or creators or people in the creative economy, how can they strike the right balance between sharing their personal stories and maintaining a professional image, especially when selling product or services? You never know if you're oversharing or undersharing, right? How can they strike the right balance there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, really, to be quite honest with you, it's about creating an authentic podcast story. And this is a podcast story that actually resonates with your listeners on a personal and emotional level. So you must understand who your target audience is and what is it that you are definitely serving them. So it's about making them feel that there is a connection with you, the host, and also with the content that you're actually creating and you're sharing. And so, to ensure authenticity in your podcast storytelling, you have to consider different types of elements. So, number one, it's about genuine personal narrative, and that means authentic story, which often stems from personal experiences and real life
Hmm.
stories. You have to have a limit in terms of what you want to share. And so it's about looking at your life story and look at what is it that you've actually overcome. What pain have you had to go through? And how have you turned your life around? It's about sharing your own experiences, your own struggles, or even successes and lessons that you've actually learned. Because this is what happens, it creates a vulnerability space where people can actually, have a deeper connection with you, especially your audience. So be very mindful of what you share. Make sure it's not too personal, because we have to keep some things, right?
Hmm.
But then at the same time, just focus on things that you know that you've overcome, and how you actually overcame it, and what processes you went through, and how you can now help other people. That is very, very much important.
I love it, Hannah. And just to add to what you just said, whenever, since, I'm always in front of the camera publicly, one thing that helps me as well is asking myself one question. While I say, if somebody else were to say the same thing, will this make me uncomfortable?
Right.
If the answer is yes, then yeah, I'm oversharing. How will I feel
Yeah.
if I were to hear the same story, if I were to hear the same thing? And depending on how you think you feel, then that will help you structure down certain things and remove certain things out of your presentation. And that should, help out as well. Now, family, I didn't always used to be this comfortable to share my personal story. If you go to my website, you see pictures of my lovely wife and family. I didn't always used to do this. I've always been the type of guy, believe it or not, that'll tell you, no, hey, listen, let's just talk about business. Leave my private life alone. Live everything I do off camera alone. But I quickly had to understand that, that's what people identify with, right?
Yeah.
Your struggles, your victories, and how you've grown, because people love seeing your growth, and that inspires other people, and they want to do the same. Hannah, what we'll do right now, we'll go ahead and take a quick ad break. When we come back, I want us to talk about advice you have for people that are struggling with finding, right, and conveying their authentic voice in storytelling, and common pitfalls or mistake that podcasters should avoid when attempting to incorporate that into their storytelling, incorporate storytelling to their podcast and production. So we'll talk about that right after this quick ad time for us to drink some water, and we'll be right back, family. Stay with us, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, Miss Luck. I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Listen, y'all. Oh my goodness. Life is a little dull sometimes, right? You can see my colors right now. My colors is a little dull. And sometimes you gotta bring a little bit more life to what you do. Look at me. My boy JP set me up with an amazing look. The process was incredible. Before he even sent it my way, he told me how my lighting should be. We got on a Zoom call. We went through all of the settings on the camera, made sure I'm white balanced properly, made sure my lighting was right. Even the foreground and background lighting, he made sure everything was crispy. He let me know what popped with my skin. He made me feel real good. Okay, he made me feel real good. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. He made me feel real good. And man, you guys can see going from zero, all right, to hero. Okay, like let me just dial it in just enough. He even gave me the number to dial it in on. Now, some of you may be asking, what in the heck is a LUT? Now, a LUT is all about getting that custom dial-in color grading that you need just for your custom look. It was important to me as I'm growing my YouTube channel, as I'm growing as a broadcaster, as I'm growing as a content creator. I wanted to make sure that all of my coloring was right and tuned in each and every single time I turn on the camera. Every single time I look into the camera and I'm doing a video, I want to make sure I look good. And if you are a content creator, you're going to want to have your own custom look. You don't want to just download one from the internet and you just put it in there and it looks kind of cool. You want to make sure you have something that's custom from you that no one else has, and my boy JP is the one who can make it happen for you. I'm so happy with my product. It's just incredible. Get it today. I'm overjoyed. It's just an amazing quality product, and I appreciate JP so much, man. You just don't know how amazing you are and how great this product is and this luck. I'm so happy. I look so good, y'all. I'm crispy. All right, I'm crispy. I'm done. Yeah, just get with JP now. Just get with him now. That's it.
All right, family, welcome back. And we've been here with our guest, Hannah Kupoluyi, and we've been talking about the power of authentic storytelling and how we can leverage that to really grow our podcast, grow our business, and grow our brand, right? And understanding the right balance to strike and the strategies to implement when we decide to activate storytelling as a part of our strategy for growth. Those are the things we're talking about today. And that was my boy Jay Dunn talking about custom LUT. Family, a lot of folks always ask me that, JP, what do you use? What's your secret? One of my secrets is that I have my own custom LUT that I have applied on my camera. So that means you can buy the same camera that I have right now and not have the same quality. For example, let me show it to you live for the folks that do not believe. I'm going to remove my LUT, right? Live. And look, this is what my camera looks like, right? Is okay, but the true thick skin tone, the true brightness, the true pop that you get, you have to have a color correction. And since we're broadcasting live, right, we have to apply that on here so we can look good. And I have a specific number. I just put it back on, and that is what we get. And so if you want to get anything like this, well, all you have to do is go to the website, right? jphightek.com/custom LUT. I repeat, jphightek.com/custom LUT, so you can get your own LUT custom created for your skin tone, for your lighting, for your primary and secondary colors, and for your setup. This is crucial. Understanding the variation that are out there when it comes to creating a custom LUT is very serious. And again, go check it out. More information at jphightek.com/custom LUT. And now let's go ahead and bring our guest back onto the stage. Hannah, thank you so much. Welcome back here. And now we're jumping to the second part of our conversation, which is, being tangible on the advice that we know people want. And so I want to ask you, what are, some advice that you have for some podcasters that struggle with finding and conveying their authentic voice in storytelling?
Yeah, thank you so much, JP. I think it's about just understanding and knowing your why. You have so many podcasters that start podcasts without understanding why they're starting in the first place. So for me, it's about understanding why you are podcasting and what message or perhaps what value are you trying to basically bring to your audience, and really understanding and knowing the purpose, in terms of what it is that you want to definitely deliver to the world or to your target audience. So for me, number one, it's about know your why. And that's why I encourage a lot of people that if you're going to start a podcast, make sure that is a podcast to do with your business, especially if you are a business owner, because it makes a lot of sense. People are able to relate to you. You can share many of your offers, and you can also even coach, within the podcast as well, and really put your courses, your offers, your businesses forward. So understand and know your why. And I think the second thing it's about just to be yourself. Some of us are trying to be who we're not. I think it's about being in your lane, slaying and dominating your lane, and understand that you are enough. So be yourself. Don't try to imitate other podcasters or even try to be somebody that you are not, because your listeners, eventually, they will definitely, suss you out. So it's very important for you to embrace your uniqueness, which is very important. And another thing, it's about listening to feedback. Pay attention to feedback from your audience so that they understand, so that you understand exactly what you need to offer them and exactly what they need as well, rather than you creating from your own space. Listen to what your audiences want and also create from that angle. And last one is about practicing. You've got to practice, because to be quite honest with you, the more you are able to definitely practice, the more you feel comfortable, the more you become, really much into your own voice, the more you establish your own voice, and you're able to create content because you feel comfortable and you feel relaxed and you're able to actually just be authentic. And lastly, storytelling training. I think it's so important. Some of you may not be good at storytelling, but I think it's so important that you probably go for a storytelling training. And the reason is because it's about sort of really helping you to develop your narrative, the skills to improve your storytelling abilities as a podcaster. So those things are definitely important, and I hope those tips can actually help you.
Yo, those tips are fire. They are
Yeah.
amazing, right? Whoo, I love it. And recapitulating this thing, one, right? Know your why. Why are you doing it?
Why?
Two, be yourself.
Yeah.
Three, you are enough.
Absolutely.
Four, and I love number four, practice. Yo, you have no idea how many amazing podcasters do not take the time to practice. I always practice. That's one of my secret sauces, right?
And that's why you're
Before
amazing at what you do.
even though I'm used to it, right? Even though I do it all the time, every time I give myself some time, and to be honest with you, I always give myself about 2 hours of making sure that I've practiced, making sure that the way I want my presentation to go, the way I want the things that I want to talk about to go, right? The thoughts that are on my mind, some points that I want to hit, practice those, like the structure, making sure that I marry that structure and that is in the back of my head because you don't know what surprises will happen, especially if you're in the public eye. Because when you're having this
So
conversation, you can start having some questions that will throw you off your game. So if you didn't practice, in order to bring them back to what where you the destination you're trying to take them, then you'll be lost yourself. And well,
yeah.
that's not what professionals do, right?
I mean, I just want to commend you, to be quite honest with you, because I mean, you are one of the top tier brand executive. I mean, brand. What should I say? Brand experts, right? Your content, everything that you do is just incredible, and it's really, really remarkable. And you've definitely set the pace for someone like myself and others, I'm sure. You are definitely one of the top, and it shows in your work. And when you mention you practice, well, it really shows and it really speaks volume. So I am truly impressed.
Yes, ma'am. The honor is all ours. Honestly, truly appreciate that. Practice is one big thing that I cannot go without. Before I get on stage and get on stage, whether virtual or in person, I always got to practice. And especially if we're talking about live streaming, right, or podcasting, well, make sure you don't make certain mistakes if you're gonna talk to people, have guests and all that. Stumble on your words and not even researching, right? Because practicing also means you research the subject matter, right? You've taken the time to research. That's
So
part of your practice. So you understand what you're going to talk about, and be eloquent in the way you discuss it. So one last question before we close. I just looked up and realized we're at the end of our show. Snap, time goes by so fast. Could you share some common, pitfalls or mistakes that podcasters should avoid, right, when they're attempting to incorporate authentic storytelling into their episodes or to promote their offering? What are some things that you should avoid?
I think some of the thing is actually sort of um, lack of audience content, failing to understand your audience needs and their interest. This can actually lead to irrelevant content. And you've got to make sure that your stories and your promotional messages are basically aligned with what your audience cares about. So that is very important, understanding who you're talking to and understanding what the interest of your audiences are. And also, ignoring story structures. Sometimes storytelling often follows a structure with a beginning, a middle, and also an ending. So, if you are going to be using storytelling within your podcast to sell your products and your offers, you've got to actually have a structure which will help you to actually make your podcast more authentic so that people can actually listen to it and understand the journey and the story so that it's not misjointed and confusing to people. And the last one would actually be poor audio quality. I think bad audio quality can actually be distracting and is also very much damaging, to podcast
That's the
authenticity. And
worst.
so, yeah, I think it's very important that you basically just ensure that you have all the recording, the sound, and it's professional, and that you maintain that credibility so that when people actually listen to your podcast, they enjoy it and the sound is at the top notch. So those things are definitely important. And I think lastly is about sort of making sure that you have a call to action, because if you're promoting something, you've got to make sure that people are able to actually click on a link that will take them to a page, a landing page, so that they can actually just grab your offers, whether it's a lead magnet, whether it is a paid service, whether it's a product, because your listeners should be able to take action after they've listened to your podcast. Because remember, if you are doing a business podcast, the idea is that you're selling and you're also offering, but that you're doing it in a way that it's not too overpowering,
Mm-hmm.
and it's helping your audience once you've actually identified who your target audience are. And so there should be a CTA at the end, so that people can actually go through that and actually, order whatever it is that you're actually, providing for your target audience. So those are really the key points.
Love the practical tips, man. Love the practical tips we're taking away, family. If you want, go back and replay this over and over. Take notes, because what Hannah is saying is 100% true, and we've even covered some of those in the book. So again, thank you for those, Hannah. That's amazing. And talking about call to action, that's
Yeah.
what this is all about. Because if you don't have any call to action, you're just having conversations. Then you're not leading the conversation. You are just joining the conversation. All right. We have to lead the conversation. We have to take it somewhere. When you're a leader, right, people follow. So where should people follow you to? If they can follow you, if you can lead them to a destination, then you're simply part of the crowd. You're part of the conversation. And if you just want to be part of the conversation, then nobody can spend money with you, which is crucial, right? And so now, talking about call to action, we know you have an offer for the audience today. Hannah, what is it, so they can take advantage of it, please?
Absolutely. So I've got some amazing offers. So first and foremost, you can actually book a podcast consultation session, and it's actually a complimentary offer for many of the audiences who are listening to this wonderful podcast today. And I also have a free podcast launch checklist, so you can actually just go ahead and click on the link and download it. That would actually help you to get going. And yes, those are the things that I have on offer today.
Fantastic. And family, if you're watching the podcast, I'm showing them to you right now so that you can, know what it looks like. But hey, very, very important. Go ahead. Like I said, these are amazing things that she's offering. And like she said, is complimentary, right? Complimentary. This is mind blowing. So go ahead and jump on there. And the links for that, right, will be in the show notes. So just look in the description, look in the comment section, look in the show notes for the direct links for her offering, right? The consultation, complimentary, and then the checklist, right? Go ahead and jump on that and get the checklist that she's offering. Podcast networks, podcast creators network.com. / podcast that launch that checklist. Again, the link will be in the show notes. Go ahead and check it out. And of course, we know she's on social media as well. And Hannah, tell them where the places and spaces that you are social on, if they want to stay in your network and follow you, stuff like that. Let us know.
Fantastic. So you can actually follow me on Instagram, and that is birth_your vision podcast live. I would love you to join me, and let's connect. And also, you can also follow me on LinkedIn, just my full name, and you'll be able to be connected with me on there as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What an amazing conversation, Hannah. It is an honor to have you on the show, and we've learned a lot from you. Please don't go anywhere. Stay backstage as I close with everybody here, and I'll be right back with you. Thank you again. Family, we've gone to the end of the show, and this is what we do. This is what we do every single week. We'll be back again next week, next Tuesday and Wednesday, for these amazing conversations to keep elevating our craft. If you appreciate it, let us know in the comment section. Leave us a review on the podcast. Let us know if this is blessing you. And as a reminder, family, if you didn't know, the book is currently available for you to go ahead and grab, right? Go ahead and grab this book right now. It's available with the live stream blueprint. All you have to do is go to the website, thelivestreamblueprint.com. And family, let's grow together, right? Everything that I know about leveraging live stream to grow your business, and the way I've been able to grow my business to 6, 7 figures, leveraging live stream. I'm sharing all that with you in this book. Get your copy today. You will not regret it. And of course, I want to hear back from you. What's your experience reading the book? What's your feedback? Love to read those things. And we'll see you guys next time. Like we always say, be safe. See you next week. Bye.